started so that we want to respect everyone's time. Thank you guys so much. Abby and I are so excited, and Melissa are so excited that you guys are here. We're honored to talk with you, and I know I can speak for all of us and just our overwhelming feeling of appreciation and gratitude for what coaching has done in our lives. And we genuinely want you to be as successful as you want to be. And that's why I know, because the three of us have talked a lot, it takes a lot for us to take time away from our families. We don't take that lightly. But we really value you guys and see so much potential in our new coaches that are joining our organizations. And we want to pour into you as much as we can so that you can have more special time with your families and more freedoms and abundance. And this really is an incredible opportunity to create that. So that being said, Abby and I are going to kind of tag team. We really want you guys to engage, ask questions throughout. No question's a dumb question. Everyone has questions in the beginning. Please make sure that you ask them and that you don't sit with your questions and not ever learn the answer to them. That's probably one of the biggest mistakes that you can make. So tonight we wanted to go over three main things. The first thing is connecting why you're doing this to what you're doing. And you're going to probably hear that over and over and over throughout your journey because it's going to change at different levels. And it's the thing that it's why we're still here 5 years in. What to do when things get hard, what to do when you feel discouraged or you don't know the answer or you feel challenged. And then we're going to talk about why and how you want to get your first 3 people started as quickly as possible. And in that, we want to answer any questions that you have. So I would say, firstly, I'll share a little bit really quick, Abs, if that's okay, about how I kind of got started and a little bit about my vision and how things changed for me. And then I'd love for you to share yours as well, because I know we're from 3 different organizations here. I've actually just yesterday celebrated my 5-year coaching anniversary, which is so crazy. It's so weird to me. But it's been a whirlwind. When I started, I was the one that told my coach, like, I want nothing to do with coaching. I don't have time. And I was a prison nurse at the time, working 40 to 60 hours a week in prison with a new baby. This is my 3rd one that's rolling around in her walker right now. But my first kid was 3 months at the time. I had just been diagnosed with a moderate to severe degenerative disc in my low back. I had severe back pain, was looking at going back to work as a nurse. I never, ever wanted to be a stay-at-home or a work-from-home mom. That's just my personality. I think all moms are amazing. And I just didn't want that. And then I had a kid and I was like, I never want to leave you. Everything changed. And if you're a mom, I'm sure you understand that too. And so I started Googling like work from home RN jobs. I paid $100,000 for my nursing degree. I need to use it. How can I provide for my family? My paycheck at the time doubled my husband's, even though he works in law enforcement. So I didn't have the option to stay at home. I didn't have the option to quit my job. I had to financially keep working. And I saw this random chick's before and after pictures pop up on Facebook, and we had no friends in common. I didn't know who she was, but I saw that she got these abs after having a baby by working out at home. And that was all that I knew. She had just finished a test group. And I thought, what an awesome opportunity to learn and be in this girl's test group. I can't go back to CrossFit time-wise, and I can't go back to the gym. I was always college athlete, always very into competitive sports. So this will be great for me. So I reached out to her and I said this: hi, my name is Jessica. I saw your test group you're running. I saw your results. That's awesome. So here's what I want. I want the challenge pack thing that you said because it's cheaper, and I want the nutrition and the fitness and the Shakeology. I want the coach account because I want the discount, but I don't want anything to do with coaching. This is the flavor that I want. How do I get started? I'm like the dream, right? I had no idea who she was. We had never talked before. I didn't even like any of her stuff. That was just what I said to her. And so of course she's like, hi, stranger, nice to meet you too. And all she did after I signed up was she told me, I know you want nothing to do with coaching because you're busy and you don't have a lot of time, but I'm running this group anyways. And since you have a coach account, if you have any friends or family members who want to do this and join my group, here's how you would get them signed up under you. And it was like a light bulb went off in my head. Duh. Like it was $140 for the DVDs, Shakeology, and containers. That was all you got. And I was like, okay, mom, mother-in-law, sister-in-law, best friend, let's do this together. I want to get in shape after the baby. Check out this chick's results that she got from this 22-minute workout. And give me your social security number, give me your credit card, give me your address and your birthday, and I'm going to sign you up. You're going to do this with me. And it worked. And so it was literally the next day. I didn't know anything about business. I didn't know anything about rank or compensation or rank or emerald, or I didn't know anything. All I knew is I got all their personal information and I signed them up for them. And I did it with me as their coach. And I earned, I think it was $200, from doing that. And Liz, my coach, reached out to me, was like, we need to get on a call. What do you want to build with this? And that was that conversation. She asked me, if you could be anywhere 5 years from now, dream as big as you want, what would you be doing? And I didn't know. We had the white picket fence, the lab, the healthy baby, great 6-figure paying jobs. I was comfortable. I was thankful. Sorry, I thought she grabbed something. But if I was honest with myself, I'd never asked myself if I could have anything, what would it be? And I realized I wouldn't be working in a prison, but I would still be working. I would be doing something where I was financially contributing to my family, but I had freedom to go to their soccer games, and I had freedom to never miss important things, and I had freedom to be at home, but I still was making a difference in people's lives because that's how God created me, and he wired me for that. And I knew that. So I wanted to, continue to follow that. So that was honestly why I started. My initial reason. Do you have something in your mouth? I can't tell. My initial reason why I started coaching was to get out of prison. And I did that 2 years in. I was able to make enough so consistently to walk away from my prison nursing job. And then I had another kid. And my why, the reason why I show up in the hard times constantly changes. I will tell you that at every level, it's changed. Recently, we were able to move our family from California to North Idaho because of how we wanted to raise them and the schools we wanted them to go to and the freedoms we wanted to have, with so many different things. And my husband was able to quit his law enforcement job because of coaching. And I never saw that on the table. I didn't know this was a legitimate thing, to be honest. But so I will challenge you, when you're thinking about your dream life, just be free with it. Don't limit yourself of that's not possible. Obviously, God put these dreams in your heart for a reason, wired you with certain things and stories for a reason. And so follow that. Okay, I'm going to stop talking. That's a little bit about my story. Abby, your turn.
I just love it. I love hearing other coaches' stories and revisiting why we started. And Jess and I have so many similarities. Melissa would be on tonight, but if you're on her team, she's at a retreat right now. So we are kicking it off. And I think with coaching, we just overcomplicate it sometimes. And especially as new coaches, I don't know if you guys are feeling overwhelmed. If you are, that's super normal, and we would be concerned if you weren't. But the truth is, it always just boils back to that vision. And that's why we really wanted to show you guys kind of what's possible with our stories, because we can give you all of the scripts and facts and everything like that. But if you're not your heart isn't in it, then it doesn't matter what tools we give you. So my story is very similar to Jessica's, actually, except I wasn't working in a prison. I was working at a university. I was a cold invite, which we don't want you to do. We don't want you spamming random people on the internet. I'm going to walk you guys over and let the dog out really quick. But that was me after I had my son, who is now 7. I was in one of those what to expect groups. And this girlfriend of me on Facebook, after we had our baby, sent me a message inviting me to try 21 Day Fix. And at the time, I really needed something. I was so overwhelmed as a new mom working full time. I would YouTube or Pinterest random workouts and try to fit them in at night. But my husband was in full-time paramedic school and fire academy. I was working 40 hours a week, and it just was not happening. And I needed something simple. And that's the takeaway number 1 is, you guys, I know that starting to share your story and invite people, that can be so scary, but you don't know the girl that's on the other side of that who desperately needs something. And I'm so thankful that this girl had the balls to invite me and to share this opportunity, because I really needed it. And the 21 Day Fix and the containers, I needed all of that. And so I'm so thankful. did that. She kind of, I didn't really know she was a coach. And honestly, I was never in a challenge group of hers. Like she's kind of faded away, but I kept doing it. And then was randomly about a year later searching on Instagram. I didn't really do social media, but I knew that people shared their food there. Something along the lines of like hashtag 21 day fix dinner ideas or something like that. And stumbled onto My Coach Now. I creeped on her for 3 months like a stalker. I didn't follow her. I didn't comment, but I watched her have her boys were a little bit older than my son. She had a similar master's degree. She was doing the same workouts I was doing. And I watched her helping all these women and making an income. And it was pre-COVID. So going on these amazing Beachbody vacations. And I was like, I want that. Like Jessica said, I always wanted to be a working, I love work. I loved working. I loved my career, but daycare took such a toll on my son and I would cry every day dropping him off. And even today I took my kids to the dentist and it never like ceases to just shake me to my core that I can go on a weekday and not like juggle sick time from work and all these appointments, because that was our life. As a working mom, if you're there, you totally get that. And I didn't want that. And so I remember after creeping on her for 3 months, kind of being like, okay, I think that this could be the solution. I think that this could be something that I could do. And honestly, guys, I am the biggest introvert. I live in a really small town. I didn't do social media. I had literally every fear you can list. I had it, no extra time. But I got to a point where I was so, I don't want to say discontent, but so ready for a change in my own life that I was willing to get uncomfortable and try something new. And I told my husband, okay, babe, I will sign up with her. He read all the stuff and he's like, Abby, this is awesome. Worst case scenario, you get a discount on what you're already doing. Best case scenario, like this could blow up and could surpass far what you'd ever be able to make at a university, because I kind of reached the top of my pay scale there. And so I did. I told him I will sign up and I will do whatever my coach says for 3 months. If she says jump off a cliff, I will jump off a cliff. And after that, I can quit if I hate it and it's not for me, but I'll at least have known that I legitimately made an effort and just didn't run away scared. 5 years later, clearly I didn't run away. 2.5 years in, I was able to surpass my full-time salary and come home. And now got the 2 kiddos running around and homeschooling, and it's just a hot mess every day. But it's our hot mess and it's what we wanted. And I'm so grateful for that. And we're going to talk tonight about vision and when things get hard, because we've both been through that stuff. But I think both of us started really small with just small vitals, daily stuff in the midst of very busy lives. But we had these bigger visions for where we wanted our families to be. And for you guys, you know, it's your vision might not be to come home from work full time, or it's what yours is. And our job is to really help you start to connect the dots between coaching and the daily activities and behaviors we talk about with where your life is headed and where you want to go, if that makes sense.
Ah, I love that. I could sit and listen to coach stories all the time. I think it's so inspiring because there's so many different starting places. You know, everyone's different. And then there's people who've had a coach account for 3 years and haven't started, like didn't start until 3 years in. So wherever you're at, it's your starting place and it's your story. Okay, so first we want to give you guys some time, just a couple minutes to write down why you're doing this. And again, this is gonna be different for everybody. So what attracts you to about coaching? If you think of your dream life, if you think of, you know, being able to coach part-time or full-time and make a certain amount of money to contribute to your family, or to be able to become debt-free. I think it was in my first year too, I was able to pay off all my student loans from nursing school. What is it that really makes you excited and drives you? Why do you really want to learn how to do this? And then think of, if failure's off the table, where you could be, what does that look like for your family, for your future? And why is that important to you? And what's at risk if you don't? So we're going to give you, I'm going to put some music on. I'm going to give you a couple minutes. If you guys could just spend some time just writing some things down. There's no right or wrong answer, but this is just time for you to get clarity on that.
I'm going to add as you're writing, if you want to, and you don't have to, but if you want to drop it in the chat bar, we would love to hear.
Yes, absolutely.
Because it's really powerful to actually say it out loud.
Agreed.
Yeah, isn't it amazing how a man can find himself alone? Calling to the darkness for an answer that he's never known. Yeah, isn't it amazing how God can take a broken man? Yeah, let him find a fortune, let him run it with his own two hands. And he climbs on up the hill on the rock on which he stands. He looks back at the crowd, he looks down at his hands, and he says, I am a difference maker.
30 more seconds, guys.
Oh, I am a difference maker. Oh, I am only one that speaks to him. And I am the friendliest of friends of God.
Okay. Does anyone want to share? Michaela, I saw yours. I wanted to be. Oh, sister. Hey, we're reading. We're reading. Yeah.
Michaela, I love yours. That's super amazing. And so cool to see that like project. I can't even talk right now. Your journey. Yeah.
I love that. I think that's a lot for everyone right now, right? Like we're living in a world right now where people are terrified of losing their health and their income with the pandemic. And honestly, it's one of the reasons. It's one of the reasons why this job opportunity is so powerful.
I can take over. I think too, one thing that's really neat about coaching is it allows us to, like, I see so many of you guys like impact other women. There's so many other like opportunities. And what I love about coaching is our job starts when we sell something. It's not just like buy this, but it's like, that's when we get to start the work of truly impacting so many women. And I think a lot of women come in. I mean, it was my story of like, oh, I want to get healthy. I want to lose weight. I want to have a solution, not even realizing the amazing opportunity and community and mindset shifts that I was stepping into with this business. And that's what we get the privilege of paying forward. And we want you guys to remember that as you start this new coach journey, because you're going to, go through the trainings and all this stuff. But like, we have to come back to like, we get to be healthy. We get to share that with others, and then we get to help them do the same. And that's all that it is. Just wash, rinse, repeat. That's it. To encourage other women in their journey, live a healthier life and feel empowered. I've also had a thing. Love that. Great. That's awesome.
I think this is so powerful too, and it coincides with what to do when things get hard. Because, and I will say, I was thinking about this before we jumped on here, but what are you doing? It's important for us to remember this is not about us, but it is about the potential that we have to impact other people. Because you will identify, if you can look at the things that hold you back from an objective perspective, it's going to be about protecting self. It's going to be fear of what are people going to think? What if I say the wrong thing? What if they don't like me? What if they think it's a scam? What if I don't know the answer? What if I fail? And it's self-preservation. And so this is where I like to remind us all, it's not about you. It's about the person right now that is contemplating leaving this earth because they don't have hope and they're alone and they don't know what to do. And they feel such a horrible pain and loneliness in their life. And I know that went deep and serious real quick, but I cannot tell you how many stories I've heard from our coaching events of people who were contemplating ending their life, but they didn't because of a Beachbody coach, because of a live video that a random person did, because of an invite that they got, because of their team or the community that they were invited into. I cannot tell you how many times. And so it's not about you. You have to identify what is it that's going to make it worth it for me to work, because this requires work, for me to work and learn a new thing this is like any job, right? It takes about a year for you to kind of get the hang of knowing like the business side of things. My nursing jobs were the same. Hey, no. But what is going to make it worth it for you? Is it going to be saving someone's life? Is it going to be having a generational impact on families and kids, where restoring marriages? What happens for those of you who are in a relationship or married? What happens when women are confident in who God created them to be in their marriage? Your marriage definitely improves, right? What happens when moms fill their cup? Their kids benefit. What we do has a generational impact. So what happens when parents learn how to be healthy and exercise becomes the norm in a family, and eating healthy becomes the norm in a family instead of just fast food all the time? Granted, this is my background, so it's what I'm passionate about in nutrition, right? But we're making a generational impact in people's lives. That's a big deal. I just did a team call where I shared some health statistics, and if you go to the CDC's website, it is proven that at least 66, you can reduce your risk of dying from cancer and cardiovascular disease by 66% if you live a healthy lifestyle. You don't have to have a background. Hey, enough. You don't have to have a background in nutrition or exercise or have your dream body, or you don't have to know all the things. All you're doing as a coach is you're meeting people in the middle, you're connecting them with tools, and you're helping them live a healthy lifestyle. In doing so, you are helping reduce their risk of premature death from so many lifestyle diseases. That's amazing. This is why I truly believe coaches are in dire need more than ever before. So when you're connecting with your why, when you're connecting with how am I going to still show up when my family tells me no, when a friend thinks that I'm doing some scam, when I'm super nervous to do a live video, when I'm super nervous to tell people I've decided to do this, remember that it's not about you. It's about the people that you are called to serve in your circle of influence. And it's why this works for so many different people, because we all have a different circle of influence. We all have a different story that's going to connect differently with other people, right? We all have different passions and personalities, and that's a beautiful thing. Please do not try to be like me or like Abby or like Melissa or like your coach. Be authentically you. Talk to your people in your voice. Oh my gosh. Ab, anything you want to add about those?
I think that's perfect. So hopefully you guys all like give a thumbs up or drop a check if you shared your vision or have that. Even if you didn't share it with us, that's okay. But like, want to make sure you have that before we move forward. Perfect. I see thumbs up. Okay. Yay. Oh, they can do a thumbs up on Zoom. That's fun. Perfect. Ignore the puppy dog pal soundtrack in the background. It's time to keep my kids occupied. Okay. So what's topic 2? We are going to talk about when it gets hard, right?
Yeah. And I feel like we kind of talked a little bit about that, but like, and I want to ask you guys, do you have any things that you're right now you feel like are, I'm sorry, absolute insanity, but you feel like are holding you back right now, or maybe hard conversations that you had, or like hard things in starting, like you're like, man, I just don't know how to do this, or I don't know how to navigate this. We'd love to be specific with the things that we're helping you guys with. Feel free to unmute yourself or put it in the chat.
Yeah. And we both had so many of those when we started, and it's a lot of being willing to fail forward. Like Jessica said, as you guys are thinking of these things, I think any job or class that you take, right, even if it's like a part-time thing, you have at least 4+ hours a day that you're devoting to that. And so you have to give coaching some grace, because if you're like most people, you're fitting this in around work, around kids, around an already busy life. And so it's going to take some time. I remember vividly the first time I made a post on social media that I didn't have to like spend what felt like an eternity trying to write. And that was 6 months into coaching, when I had posted every single day for 6 months, but it took that long before it finally felt easy. Stuff like that. So it is you have to give yourself the grace of being a beginner with this, and sending a terrible message or doing a horrible post or your photos aren't great. Like, that's normal, and that's part of learning and growing. So don't let that discourage you as we start to move forward with this stuff. Do you guys have any questions on stuff so far? No, you're good. Not yet. Perfect. That's good. You know, go if you do.
That's awesome. So lastly, we just wanted to talk about why and how, maybe some tips that we could share, Abby, with how and why to get your first 3 people started as soon as possible. I kind of honestly, what I told you guys what I did in the very beginning, and we have share cart and like different tools now. But who in here, excuse me, who has,
purple one.
I don't know why this
I
is
don't want the
there,
purple
who has signed up their
I
first 3
want the
people?
Okay, Sarah, perfect. Awesome. You've got your people in. I'm looking at the chat here. Hold on. Go back. Yes, Leah. Okay, great. Yeah, so that one is, and you guys, if you're in the trainings, hopefully you know this, but Success Club is really a non-negotiable in your business. If you are in this to build a business, to actually earn an income, when I got started, my coach told me, she's like, this is a non-negotiable. And so for 5 years, I have hit it every month, regardless of working full-time or pregnancy or crazy. Like, it's just a non-negotiable, because really what this does for you is a few things. It first of all means that you are starting to earn a little bit more than what you're spending on your products. That's super important, right? We don't want you to be in the red. So you're actually starting, and the more people you help, honestly, I would say shoot for, instead of just 3 people, maybe 5 people a month, and you'll start to see that income really grow. It also gives you people to share about and shout out and get results and really build that credibility on social media, as you're not only sharing your own journey, but can share, like, here's what my clients are doing. Also, as a coach, it opens the door to so many different things. If you know your Enneagram at all, if you know it, drop your numbers below, because I'm curious. But I know Jess and I are both 3s, and so is Melissa. And we love prizes. We love winning. We'll do anything for the free t-shirt. So for those types of personalities, like, there's so many fun things that Beachbody has in terms of quarterly prizes and things that you can earn. But even if you don't care about that, there's a few things as a new coach. Okay, Leah, as a 2, Rachel, I'm a 3-wing 2. As a 2, you get to help people. I have a girl on my team who's a really strong 2, and she just really, like, for her coaching is like, I get to serve other women, and this is amazing. So really kind of even hone in your personality, but also, Michelle, don't worry, or Michaela, don't worry, we'll figure out, you can do it later. But the other thing that it is as a new coach, there are things called success starters and success clubs. So Success Club is helping those first 3 people every month. And there's a lot of important things attached to that in terms of ranking income. But as a new coach, if you help 3 people for 3 out of your first 6 months as a new coach, you actually earn your free ticket to Summit, which I'm praying is not virtual this year, but it is truly a life-changing event. And that's coming from an introvert who doesn't necessarily love giant crowds. It's amazing. So that's amazing. You get to earn that. You also are going to earn your spot in a test group for an upcoming program. They didn't have that when Jessica and I started. And I'm so jealous that you guys get that now. But you get to actually be in an upcoming test group. And then if you hit that, if you help 3 people every single month for 12 months, you actually get an all expenses paid vacation. So we've got to take our families on some pretty amazing trips. And that's just a really cool opportunity. I remember the first one, my son was 5 at the time, and he looked around at all these girls with similar the same like backpack that I had earned. And he's like, why are all these people like matching you, Mom? And my husband looked at him and said, it's because Mommy worked super hard and helped a lot of people, and we get to be here on this trip because of her. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So it was really special to be able to, you know, I try to honor their time with my work, but also to be able to let them see the payoff of my hard work and have that be a tangible thing that we could do as a family to take them on that cruise and stuff. So it really is a bedrock of your business, both on the income side and just your consistency, but also on the kind of fun perks and things like that. So you really just want to do that. And so it sounds like you guys are helping. I would love if you have hit Success Club, if you feel comfortable unmuting, or you want to drop in the chat bar, how did you help your first 3 people? Because we can give you all the ideas, but it's also really cool to see from new coaches.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, go. Yeah.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, so like I felt like in the beginning I was not gonna get anybody. Like I kept hounding the same couple of people. And it was actually funny because people started reaching out to me, and that was how it started. And I think after I had signed my first coach, my mom finally took the bite on the 9-week control freak. And from there, I've gotten, like 3 other people to sign up. So it was really just like bugging my closest people, and showing, I think, success with them so far is getting other people super interested. So that's helped.
Create that FOMO. That's perfect. My first 3 people, my dad wanted Shakeology, and then it was a college friend and a friend from church who were my very first people. So your very first customers and clients are going to be people that already know, like, and trust you. We will work with you on growing your social media, and we'll teach you that along the way. But really, it's starting with the people who already know your story. And so if you haven't yet done your coach post saying, like, I'm so excited about, these workouts, who wants to work out with me? Like, about having those conversations. And if you need help with those conversations, please, please, please reach out to us, reach out to your coach. Like, that's what we're here to help you with as you're going through that process. But my first 3 came from, I had done posts, but I had to actually connect with them and say, like, hey, thank you so much for loving that post. Like, I'm loving what I'm doing. Would you like some more info? And being brave enough to actually say that out loud to someone.
I think that's really important. And I'm glad that you shared that, because if you're consistent with sharing your journey, so really, like, in order to be a good coach, you have to love what you're doing. So you have, that's why we tell everyone, you have to be a coach of yourself first. You have to commit to a fitness program. You have to actually do the nutrition and get the results and drink the Shakeology and try the Energize. Then you'll know, and you're like, you have to try this. And I would say that's where a lot of people get in their head. And it's so bizarre because we don't do that about a massage. Like, I had the best massage from this person. I had the best Mexican food from this restaurant. You have to go try it. I think coaching is the same. It's just I see a lot of coaches get in their head about it. And then I will also say, how do you go from, you're sharing your journey consistently on social media? Some people will reach out to you. If you're constantly saying, you could do this too, you should do this with me. We have another challenge starting on the 1st in 10 more days. This is how I got started. But most people, you're going to have the expectation that you're going to have to reach out to most people because they're going to be intimidated. I think one of the best analogies I heard that was really helpful was, it's like saying that you're all the time telling people, I'm throwing a party, I'm throwing a party, I'm throwing a party. This is how awesome it's going to be. This is how amazing that the people are going to be. This is what we're doing. This is the food we're serving, but you're never inviting people to your party. Well, then you look rude. Like, no one's going to say, hey, Jessica, can I come to your party? That looks really cool. They're going to feel weird. And so this is the same. If you just get it in your head, like, this is the same, invite everyone, because everyone needs positive community right now. Everyone needs a healthy lifestyle. Everyone needs what we have to offer. It's a gift. Some people are not going to be in a place where they want to receive your gift. That's not on you. That's on them. And that's okay. But until you offer that gift to people, they're not able to be a part of what you're doing, or a lot of them aren't going to know, especially in the beginning. So that really helped me. So I wanted to share that with you. And then also to know, especially in the beginning, I really recommend getting people started with the same challenge pack you got started with, because there's options, but it just gets overwhelming for a lot of new coaches in the beginning. And like, I don't know how to get, like, what do I recommend for them? You can ask your coach, ask them questions like, hey, 90 days from today, if failure is off the table, where would you want to be? What results would you want to get? And then ask them the question, what are the biggest barriers to being successful for you right now? Those 2 questions are so powerful, because then you're like, oh, this is a mom of 5 who is really exhausted, has no motivation, no support at home, and I don't know, fill in the blank, digestive issues. Perfect. And she wants to lose 50 pounds. Then I'm going to set her up with this challenge pack and this program, and you'll learn that as you go. But I just wanted to share that. Like, this is really how simple it is. You share your journey, you get stoked out of your mind about what we're doing and the people that we can impact. And then you just invite people to what you're doing consistently without stopping. And then you follow up with the people. And that's how you build an organization.
Yeah, I use the same analogy. And guys, no one likes inviting, but you have to get out, like back to what Jessica said, it's not about you, it's about them. And I had to get out of my head and be like, drink some Energize, put on a pump up jam, send those invites, and remember, like when you need to. I've noticed even if I use the same words, I don't know how, but I swear my like vibe, for lack of a better word, comes through the screen. So if I'm like, don't want to bug you, like, as opposed to like, I am so excited. There's a difference in momentum. And I sometimes have to even go back even 5 years in and revisit that fire and that passion. And so, yeah, it's scary, but you're a big girl and they're not going to come burn down your house, right? The worst they can do is say no. And if they say something super snarky to you, like that reflects so much more on them because all you're doing is working on getting better yourself and extending that. Like that's it. So we have to like stop getting in our heads about it and just say like, this is a gift. So kind of some tactical, tangible tips for you guys. When I was a new coach, I lived by what I called the rule of threes. And if you guys aren't using it yet, you need to use your tracker, whether it's a tracker that your team has that's different, the business activity tracker in your back office, you can print it off, or there's a really awesome app for it where you can track stuff, but you really get it, it helps you log your daily vitals. So the most important things that you can do are your 4 vital behaviors, your personal development. And this is something I did not do as a new coach for a long time. I was like, I do my devotions and I'm a happy person and that's good. I will tell you, personal development will change your business. It will give you post ideas. It'll give you like story content to snap. I mean, it gives you like, you're like, I don't know what to post, like go pull a quote. But it will also help you when you start struggling with motivation or fearfulness or anything like that. So a really good starting one, if you haven't, the compound effect or the slight edge, those are both ones that really helped me as a new coach a ton. Right now I'm reading, I can't remember what I'm reading. You know what it's called? It's by Craig Groeschel. It's a really good book. I will share it later with you guys. But find some personal development. Then you're going to stay consistent with your workouts and Shakeology and things like that, like Jess was saying, because if you're not getting results, you're going to feel like a fraud inviting people. So you need to make sure that you are feeling good. It's not about perfection, but it's about staying consistent on your own journey. Then you're going to invite people and help them. And then you're going to help them get results. That's all that we do. Those are the 4 vital behaviors. So as a new coach, when I started, I was working full time. I had a kid. My husband was gone about 5 nights a week. So super, super busy. And so I would spend about 30 minutes to an hour a day on my business. I told you guys I've never missed Success Club. Like I not retired, but like came home 2.5 years in. So it's possible, but you have to be consistent with it. And I would get up a little earlier, check in with my challenge groups, read my personal development, get my workout in. Then if I had a lunch break that I could use, which I didn't always, I would either write a post for that night or I would send some invites or just do something quick. Then that night after daycare pickup, dinner, bedtime routine, all that, I would sit down on the couch 4 to 5 nights a week and I would work for an hour to 2, depending on the day. My husband understood why. He didn't just think I was dinking around on social media. That's when I caught up on trainings because I was working full time. That's when I would, send my invites, stuff like that. But that's how I built my business. And I had this catchphrase that I always would call the power of 3s that really, really helped. And sometimes we talk about these big goals and Success Club and all that, but if we break it down into small steps, it's really simple. So I would do 3 posts a day on Facebook. You guys don't have to do that anymore. So you are off the hook there. Be grateful. But when we started, you had to. So right now I would say do your 1 post and be in your stories, right? So you do your post. I would send 3 invites every single day. And I would add 3 new friends every single day on social media. A lot of days I would do more than that, but I wouldn't go to bed until I had done at least that because I knew that compound effect that if I did that every single day for 30 days, by the end of the month, I had at a minimum 90 invites out, at a minimum 90 new connections on social media. And that's a lot, right? But 3 a day is doable. So look at your goals. I know that for about every 10 invites that I send, probably 1 person will say yes. My feelings are not hurt. It's just the way that it is. It's statistics, it's numbers. A lot of those are just seeds being planted and those people come back a year or 2 later. They really do. But I know okay, if I want to help 3 people, I need to send at least 30 invites. So what does that look like? So figure out what you need to do with your time, but be really diligent with the small activities. Don't get so overwhelmed with how much training there is and your Instagram being perfect and blah, blah, blah. Just focus on these daily vitals. And then if it's fun, fluffy stuff like blog posts or creating a ton of reels or, whatever it is, then you can do that on the weekends or when you have a nap time or something like that. But prioritizing the income producing stuff first will really help your business to grow. And then on the weekends, again, as a new coach working full time without a lot of time, I would take photos in advance for my posts for the week. I'd switch out my shirts, do something. I would sometimes pre-write my posts. So that's really all that there is in terms of your daily activities, if that helps. I just talked for a long time. Sorry, Jess.
No, that was good. That was really good because I know a lot of people, most people these days are running on limited time. So I think those are really, really powerful tips. Amy just asked, and we're going to move into the question part of this. So please ask questions if you have any question about anything. Amy asked, what's your best advice for inviting people that you don't know really well? I would say this is where I've seen a lot of people get in their head, and even I did in the beginning, but we have to remember this isn't about us. Do you believe this could help them? And if so, first of all, like genuinely get to know them, make a connection, learn about them a little bit. If it's on social media, read a little bit about their life and what they share about and make a connection and just say hi. I will say, in this climate, social climate that we're in, free groups, like free communities tend to be easy, or like free mini challenges, whatever you want to run. I've found tend to be easier to invite total strangers to. You can invite anyone to something for free because they're not buying anything. You're just giving them something. And then from that free group or free community, they get to know you a little bit more. You can drop some value. I use everything from our coach office, from under the Grow My Business tab, in the shareable media. And so they're learning more about Beachbody, but they're also learning about me and who I am, and I'll go live in there. But that's just one tip. I'm 5 years in, remember, and I've never run free groups. I personally have always hated them. So I've never run free challenges. It's different now with the free community. I've found, because I'm not starting and stopping things, I'm just adding people, whoever wants to be a part of it. And I share recipes and free workouts. And sorry, that was my computer. That was not me. I had the cauliflower rice for dinner. Oh man. Anyways, I hope that was helpful, Amy, but really it's just getting to know, like, just be genuine. I think, how would you talk to someone at a grocery store if you found out that they're really stressed out about eating healthy? Hey, you should totally do this with me. I'm learning about how to eat healthy recipes with my family.
And I, like Jessica, I hate free groups. I know and don't not do them because we say that, like, there's amazingly successful coaches who love them. I just have not loved them. But what I will do is, if I don't know them super well, I would not say like just cold invite them to buy a challenge pack, although I was a cold invite. So, those can work. But if it's someone new that's liking my post or watching my Instagram stories, or maybe I just like haven't connected with in a long, long time, and I don't feel comfortable with like, hey, thanks for the love, my boot camp starts whenever, I'll send something like, hey, Rachel, like, thank you so much for watching my stories. It's always a hot mess here. Ha ha. I would love to know like what I share a lot about, like my faith, fitness, food, and my little family, my business. Is there things that you're following me for? I can share more of for you. And oftentimes I give them specifics, like specific categories, not just open-ended. And oftentimes they'll respond to me like, oh yeah, like I'm like postpartum and always looking for fitness inspo. I'm like, oh, that's so great. Like, how old's your baby? And it opens the door into a conversation that doesn't feel as spammy or salesy, where if it's someone I know super well, I can be like, girlfriend, like, why are you not doing this with me yet? Like, you see my March stories, like, just freaking jump in. So I think like knowing your audience, but don't be scared to open the conversation. People don't want to join you if you don't feel confident about where your train is headed, right? They will go to a coach who talks confidently about it. So even if you still are figuring it out or scared or lacking confidence, just like pull up your big girl panties, be excited, be confident in what you have. And then, behind the scenes, you can furiously text your coach and be like, oh my gosh, what do I say? But that's what I usually work. That's what I usually do. Other questions that you guys have? Yeah, be confident that it could change their life. Love that.
Such a big difference.
Yep.
And I think that it's important too, and I'm sure you'd agree with this, Abby, is that if you're inviting people that you don't really know on social media, they will not want anything to do with what you're doing if they go to your feed and you have nothing about who you are.
Yeah.
So if you're not showing your face, if you're not talking about your life and your passions, why should they trust you? They're not going to, unless you're showing up and that you have a history, and they're like, oh, and it doesn't, please, I'm glad that my brain remembered this. Do not post all Beachbody. You are not Beachbody. I did that. I like in the beginning, I'm like, oh, here's a Shakeology graphic or whatever. But most people don't understand what we do. They do not understand our approach. They do not understand it. And so you remember to always be authentically who you are. What is your story? What are your passions? Who is your favorite kind of person to be friends with? Speak to her. Speak to that person, because even like if you go to my Instagram and you can go look at it, it's health_patriot. I talk about that I help Jesus loving, concealed carrying patriot mamas learn how to thrive in the chaos. That's a very specific, type of person. And so in my feed, if someone fits that, if there's a mom that conceal carries a pistol when she goes into Walmart or on her way to Bible study, she's like, oh, that's my people, right? I've been needing to get healthy, and so I want to work with her. So find like your person and speak to those things, and you're going to build more trust with people instead of just posting sweaty selfies all the time.
Yep. And I try to have my transformation like once every 9 to 10 slides. So it's towards the top of my, because people aren't going to scroll all the way back down. So at least once every 2 weeks, that's up there. And guys, even if you don't have a massive transformation, people relate so much more to the messy middle of your journey than they do to the pretty bow at the end, right? And so even if there's no noticeable difference, like talking about your mindset, or maybe you were really consistent, or you ate vegetables and that's hard for you. I don't care what it is, taking through people through that journey, because when you can show up in imperfection, in hard seasons, and Jessica and I have been through our fair share of them. One of my most successful years as a coach was going through a super hard miscarriage that was really public. And I wasn't selling all the way through that, but I was really honest in how I showed up in that. And if you follow my stories, my laundry pile on my bed is its own member of my family, and people know that. And it gives people the opportunity to let those excuses go, because when you can show that you're not perfect and you're still getting your workout in, or you're still running a business, even though X, Y, or Z is happening in your life, it shows them that their excuses are BS, and that is empowering to them. So if your baby didn't sleep, or your kids are running around during your workout, taking your mess and making it your message and taking people on that journey. And some people are going to sit and watch it until you do have that amazing transformation, but they're going to have seen everything in the middle there. And that gives people permission to show up flawed and imperfect. So yeah, Enneagram 3s in our laundry. We prioritize the things that matter, and folding laundry is not at the top of my list.
One of them. I still think that they need to come up with disposable clothes, like disposable paper plates, so that I don't have to do it. My goodness.
Okay. Anything else that you guys need tonight or have questions on as we go at all?
I hope this is helpful.
Hopefully you feel empowered. Really, the best things, go get your tracker if you haven't done that yet. Come up with a post for tomorrow. You don't have a post, so you know what you're going to share. And if you haven't yet, have a really clear call to action in your stories of here is when my next challenge group is starting. Here is why I'm so excited to share that, and have it be a very clear, concise, even if you don't know the date, just put I'm so excited for my next group. Here's what you're going to get. And just start talking about that. And every single day in your stories, have something about that in some form. It can be your energize and how excited you are for the girls in your next group to try that. It can be your favorite ab move from the program and how excited, you can tie it into all sorts of things, but just start to be really consistent with that, and then reach out for help. And then we'll talk more in depth next week too, but hopefully this helps you. It's all the mindset piece, friends. It doesn't matter how many examples we give you if your vision isn't there. So go write your visions down. on a sticky note on your computer, or put it on your bathroom mirror, or where you are, like something where you're going to see that every day. And when you start to doubt yourself, or you have a really hard day, or you get a snarky no, or it's on your every month when I'm on my period, guys, in my mind, I'm the world's worst coach and I need to quit and I'm a failure. Every single month without fail. And now I just know that happens. And so I'm like, but you need to remember, like, why are you showing up on the days where it sucks? Because it's going to happen. Why are you showing up? And then in 2.5 years, you're going to be hopefully in 3 months, you're going to be leading this call for your new coaches and be like, here's where I started and here's where I am. And it's going to be the best thing ever.
Yes. Preach. My children are, I don't know what they're eating right now on my bed. So it's probably dinner time. But thank you so much, Ab. Thanks so much for everything that you shared. Really, this comes down for everyone, all of us. How bad do you want it? And how bad do you not want things to stay the same? If before you started, if you were on a path that was getting you to your dream life, then go do that. But if not, this is a vessel that could create anything that you want. Really, you just have to put in the work and the belief and the action. So we are going to go. I hope everyone took a picture of this for your Instagram stories. If not, do it. A little boomerang. We love you all. We're so happy that you're here. We're excited for this month and to help you all be as successful as you want to be. Have an amazing night with your families.
Bye, guys.
Bye.